Good morning. I'd like to call the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Selectmen to order. It's February 17, 2015. It is now 8:35. First order of business is a Pledge of Allegiance. I'd like to ask Selectman Havertide to lead us, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Charles. Item 2, public forum, limited to 3 minutes on any agenda item. Anyone wishing to address the board? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to item 3, which is the approval of minutes. 3.1, the approval of the January 30th, 2015 special budget workshop meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second?
I do have one comment.
Okay.
On page 2, under expense suggested reductions, it's talking about debt service, the last line in the first paragraph. Debt service has increased almost 50% due to the high school. I remember we also had a discussion that it was within the projections. As a matter of fact, it was even less than the projections, and I just wonder if we should note that in the minutes.
Okay. Any objection to changing that? Okay. No? Any other additions or corrections?
I think Gary had one. Did we have to read in Gary's?
He hasn't got anything on the minutes on that.
Yeah, he
Does
does,
he?
January
Number
30th. He
2.
said police and fire should be looked at hardest if we have to make cuts.
Oh, that doesn't relate to the minutes, though. Okay. All right. Okay, all those in favor? Aye. I'll be approving the minutes as corrected. Have a vote?
Amended.
As amended. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. 3.2, February 2nd, 2015, regular minutes. Do I have a motion?
Move we approve.
Second.
Any additions or corrections? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And the last one is 3.3, February 4th, 2015.
Move their approval.
Okay.
Second.
Any additions or corrections?
Yeah, on page, I don't know what page this is. I'm not sure what the page, Trace, but I think it's the second page or third page. Under department budgets, I had talked about problems creating positions. I was referencing Public Works and Parks and Rec, not the social services position. And in addition to justified, I said we weren't provided with any data to substantiate the need for additional services, positions.
What page is that?
I don't know the page,
The
Joe. I
second
can't-
page.
Yeah,
under
second.
budgets.
Yeah, I think it's the second page, yeah.
1, 2, 3,
We were talking about
fourth
department
paragraph down.
budgets.
You got that, Trace? Okay. Okay, any other changes? Okay. All those in favor of approving the minutes as amended?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. Item 4. Guilford Land Trust President, Sarah Williams, 4.1, discuss and take possible action on a letter of support for the Guilford Land Trust Conservation Grant application for purchase of a parcel of property. Sarah? Good morning, how are you?
How are you?
Good.
This is, you should have a map in your folders. We are buying a piece of property that's directly north of the property we bought the last time I was here, the heart of Westwoods. It's almost exactly the same size, 17 and a half acres. It's surrounded completely by state forest land and Guilford Land Trust land. Very much in line with the plan of conservation and development. So we're writing out an open space grant for the state. They have a DEP open space program that we've done very well with in the past. They will supply up to 50% of the appraised value of the property if it aligns with their goals. And so the grant's due March 1st, and one of the requirements is a letter of support from the Board of Selectmen.
I move we support the purchase of said property.
Okay, it's, motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion on the motion? Okay. All those in favor of the motion? Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, passes. We'll send the letters to that effect. Item 5, Board of Fire Commissioners, Chairman Kenneth Wilson, 5.1, consider to take possible action to purchase a 2015 Chevy Tahoe under the state contract 10 PSX 0239 using funds received from the recent sale of fire apparatus. Good morning, Ken.
Good morning, how are you?
Who's that guy in the scooter with you?
Yeah.
Good morning, Chief.
I think you have in front of you a copy of a letter that I sent to the board requesting the purchase of the 2015 Chevrolet Tahoe, which is in line with this state contract. We're asking that the board consider using the funds from the recent sale of the fire apparatus and utility vehicle that was sold, totaling $65,000. In addition, this will also reduce our 2015-16 operating capital budget in the amount of $40,000. I believe also that you have attached to the letter, you have the specifications of the vehicle and what we're looking to purchase. And I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Okay, I guess the Board of Selectmen put the cart before the horse
Oh,
because we already reduced your budget on this going forward in anticipation of receiving this in discussions I had with the fire chief. So we're on, at least I'm on board with this, so. Okay.
okay.
So it's 35, 250, 250, right?
Is the vehicle, and then $5,000 to outfit the vehicle for the emergency lighting devices that are needed and the equipment that's needed in the vehicle.
So it's 35 plus 5?
I thought it was 30 plus 5. Base vehicle 30. Did I miss something?
I believe it's 30, you'll have attached, I believe the vehicle is $35,252.50.
Okay.
Is the vehicle,
Right,
and you're requesting an additional 5,000.
right, which would
For
put
the
over by
equipment.
$252.50. But it would reduce, what I was referring to is it would reduce the original request in the operating capital for 2015-16 of $40,000.
Right.
That's what I was referring to.
Okay.
So it would be over by $250.50.
Okay.
So do we have to have two motions?
Yes, we do. We need one, first of all, to purchase this off the state bid. Okay. Okay, do I have a motion then?
So moved.
Second. But
All right, and then I would need a motion for, now, before we go ahead and call for vote on the motion, is the 5,000
I don't see the.
part of the state bid? Or is that separate?
That would be separate.
Separate?
That is separate.
Okay.
That's separate equipment, and it's similar to the when we purchased the assistant chief's vehicle the same way.
Okay, so we need a motion of the $35,252.50 would be to purchase the vehicle off the state bid, and that's the motion on the table. Was made and seconded. Do we have any discussion on that motion? Okay, a call for vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. I need a second motion to purchase the equipment for an additional 5,000. Do we know where we're getting that from?
Chief, on the
Well
equipment.
Engineering, which is a sole source vendor,
Okay.
and slide bracket, slide tray, something like that. It's a
Both.
big cargo slide.
Both sole source?
Yeah, sole
Yes.
source.
Okay. I need a motion for that then.
I move for that, but I move. for that.
Second.
So, but it's okay, we weren't provided with this spec sheet or anything, you just, so what exactly is equipment, just for the people?
Basically, these warning lights for the vehicle
Okay.
to go to respond to emergencies, and the other is a big cargo tray that you
Yeah.
pull out of the vehicle that carries all the extra equipment that's on there, like air packs and
Okay.
extinguishers and shovels and
Got it.
forcible entry tools, all the stuff that we use to break into things or break out of things.
Okay, not a problem, I just
Okay.
wanted to, okay.
Okay. Okay, do I have a motion? A motion
Yeah,
is
we
made
have
and
a
seconded. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, the one addition I would make is an amendment to both, to the motion, is that these funds will be coming from the sale of the fire apparatus that was sold earlier this year. Primarily the two tanker trucks that we sold.
Right.
Okay, did you accept that amendment?
Yes.
Okay,
And
is there
can
a
I-
second to that? Okay,
And I just want to make, because Gary had sent a comment that he would hope that the balance from the sale will be returned to the general fund, but that's what happens, right?
that happens
So-
anyway.
Okay, just,
It normally goes to the general fund unless we do what we're doing now.
right, I just wanted to make sure his
Okay.
comment got
All
referenced.
right, do I have a vote on the amendment? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, do I have a vote on the general motion then? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Thank you,
very
gentlemen.
much.
All right.
Thank you, board.
Oh, just one question, then we will, how many miles on the vehicle?
The one that's gonna be,
The one that's gonna be replaced is 160,000 miles.
160,000.
Yeah, it's a lot, okay. So we,
Yeah,
as
aye.
Casey or you're as, what's your gentleman's name?
Keith?
Keith. Does he think there's any further use for any other department on that?
No, it
Okay.
goes in the junkyard.
So we're gonna
Right.
sell that off then?
Right.
Okay.
Scrap metal.
Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Don't get into any accidents with that.
Well, I just want to make sure I don't run over Sheila. Backing up is.
Okay, thank you, Chief. Item 6, Finance Director Sheila Valano received monthly report from the Finance Director. Morning, Sheila. Yeah.
Sheila, expense or revenue first? Gotta go open it up.
Revenue. And
Always
actually,
revenue.
I'm going to, for the love of paper, I'm
Sorry?
gonna pass out a revised revenue report for
Oh.
one reason. The current revenue has not changed.
Okay.
The prior tax collection percentage was inaccurate, and it portrayed a picture that is not what I really expected to see, so I fixed it, and I'll explain it.
Oh, you did just?
Yes.
Okay.
I would have highlighted this for you, but I just printed this off.
You want to send in a corrected one to Gary? since he's not-
Yes,
okay.
I will, and I will also send it to the Board of Finance, so I think it's important. So let me explain. Well, at the end of
Yeah, it looks better.
January, yes,
Okay.
we've recognized, collected 94.6% of our revenue budget, and that's compared to 94.4% last year.
Good.
So in your previous version, tax collections were a little bit under last year, but that's not accurate. So tax collections right now are at 95.4%, and that's exactly where they were last year. What happened is last year there was an error, a journal entry that was posted twice in January, so it inflated the tax number for January. In February, or I think it was early March, it was corrected, but on the January report it was reflected, so it's really not accurate. I adjusted it so you could see
Got it.
a true picture of the comparison of their collections, and everything looks fine. Now, there's $84,000 in the Board of Selectmen's line, and that is going to be transferred for the use of the fire vehicle that you just approved.
Oh, okay.
That's where the funds are. So
And then what's left just goes to the general fund, like Joe said?
it's already in the general fund. We've been anticipating this, which is
Oh,
why
so
we
you-
already reduced the 40,000 from the capital request.
Got it.
So we'll transfer that to the account, and then we'll pay for the car vehicle out of that funding. And everything else looks good in revenue. Still staying on track. I don't think there is any department that is really under their revenue, with the exception of perhaps town clerk, under their budget. And hopefully with a little bit of activity in the spring real estate market, we can see
People can find the houses with the snow. Okay, want to go to expense? I'm sorry, any questions on revenue? Okay, Sheila.
Expenditures are obligated at the end of January at 65.8% of our budget. Last year, it was 66.3%. So we're a little bit ahead of where we were last year. Much of it is probably timing. Two things I want to bring to your attention that I have been bringing to your attention for a few months now. The reval claims under legal, they are, I believe they're at 85% expended. It looks like we're going to spend, if we annualize out what we've spent so far just on the line item for reval assessment claims, we're trending at about $180,000 on a $110,000 budget. So that puts us about $70,000 over. Now, there may be other savings in that department, in the other legal lines, but that remains to be seen at this point. I just want to kind of make you aware of where we're heading. We've settled almost half of the grand list of 13 claims that were the court appeals. So I expect that we're going to still continue to incur the legal fees for the other half going forward. Although typically a lot of the work is done up front with the appraisals, so it may taper off, but just I'm giving you a worst case scenario.
I know it's not much, but there's any issues with insurance? It's like a 6% or 5%.
No, there's no issues with insurance, actually. I think that has to do with the fact that we
Payment?
paid our quarterly
Okay.
payment in probably a month earlier than it appeared on the report last year,
Okay.
so there's no issues there. Other than that, Public Works, we will discuss next month. I put in at least a preliminary assessment of possible claim to the state to see if we qualify, and the state qualifies as a whole for FEMA funds. It was about $140,000, and that included the indirect cost for equipment. So that doesn't necessarily have a direct impact on this budget, but we're not through yet with these overtime hours. So
I can tell you, as of last week's payroll, which is a week behind, we have pretty much exhausted,
That's what you said the last time.
yeah,
we were
all overtime. So any overtime that we've encountered this past weekend is pretty much going to put us in the red from here on in. And if you pay attention to any of the weather, which I just don't even want to listen to anymore,
When you say,
we're going to be over in overtime. We're going to exceed we have exceeded our budget, and there's nothing we can do about it.
no, there isn't.
when you say all overtime, I mean, for example, come spring or summer, when we start doing some of the road work that we plan, that includes any overtime that we might have used for
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah. We had budgeted, if you look at it, I can't put my finger
We're
on
not
that.
at the point of jeopardizing any of those projects, or?
No, I mean, we had budgeted 81,000. I gotta look at it.
But remember, the fiscal year will change June 30th. So
Yeah,
the
but we
road
still
work
got spring
projects-
cleanup to do.
Yeah.
Now, what you have to realize is that what happens with this freezing cold weather, and then you'll get some thaw, it takes a toll on the roads. It's not only getting the snow off the roads and sweeping the sand, but the freezing and thawing, it just heaves the roads and
Well, I
a lot of
appreciate all that. I
repairs,
just
and that's
wanted
got to
to-
be taken care of.
Of course.
Right.
And
I just wanted to
unfortunately-
make sure, or find out early as we can, whether or not
Yeah.
any of the projects that we anticipate are in jeopardy at this point.
Might not be in jeopardy, but we're going to be over budget, and that's what you have contingency for.
Right.
Okay.
But the projects, any other projects were not budgeted with overtime
No.
in mind,
No.
so
No.
No,
we should be
Yeah.
But
okay.
overtime happened.
it happens. Park and Rec, don't forget your Park and Rec is got a little bit of overtime left, but not much.
Okay.
All right. And I know I had them out Saturday, early Saturday into Sunday, because I anticipated we might have to activate the shelter because of extreme cold weather coming. Didn't know what conditions were going to happen because of possible power outages I was anticipating. But you got to do it.
I'll be ahead of it.
You gotta do it.
Easy to be ahead of
Yeah.
it.
So we'll keep an eye on the expenditures, and I'm sure by next month we'll have a little bit better idea of where we're gonna stand with the overtime. In fact, I can put together something for the Board of Finance for tonight, just to give them an idea of the direct impact of
Okay.
the overtime on the budget.
And, you know, we've had 4 solid weeks of miserable weather. It's just- it's not as bad as Boston, no, thank God. Right? All right. Can't you, I'm sorry.
And that's all I have, unless you have any other questions.
Any
on
other
expenditures.
questions on expenses? Did we, I didn't take, on building, I think we have corrected,
Yes.
transfer that over to the high school?
Yes.
Okay.
So that account does look better
Okay.
now.
Okay, good. Any other? Okay. Take us through medical?
Yes. Well, medical is looking a little bit better. Unfortunately, because of our stop loss, the claims that are continue to rise that are 50% of our stop loss. We have 14
And we're up.
contracts, and 2 of them are brand new in January that are at least 50% of the stop loss, if not more, and 762,000 of those claims are covered by the stop loss. So our premium was $845,000, a really big premium, but we will exceed that premium now with the following subsequent months. And it's unfortunate because it means that there's a lot of individuals that are sick. But I think we're doing the best that we can to control the costs. And we're looking at about a $400,000 surplus at this point in the year, annualizing out what we know so far as claims go. And hopefully we'll be at that point when the year ends.
So we had a better month in January, is what you're saying, yeah?
We had a better month
Yeah.
because 700, there were, the difference
100.
between 762 and 527 was picked up by the stop loss. But yes, slightly better. I think it's going to get better as we go on. But what happens is new claims come on. Now, the 2 new claims that came on the report right away with $92,000 and $78,000 worth of claims the first month. Other claims, I looked at every one. Other claims that are close to the stop loss, like in the over 100 but under 150, have not moved substantially from last month, which means they're tapering off, which is a good sign, but we won't reach the stop loss on those. But the new ones come in and they don't hit the stop loss. It's impossible to really predict, but we do our best to.
But I think we can say that going to the lower stop loss has really helped.
Yeah, I think it will.
Including the higher
this
premium
year.
has really
Yes.
helped us.
I think this year, yes.
Okay,
I think it was an important decision that we made.
okay. Any questions on medical? Okay. Anything else, Joe?
No, that's all right.
Okay. Good. Anything else for the finance director? Okay, thank you, Joe. We just gotta prepare for the Board of Finance tonight then. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Item 7, Town Engineer Jim Portley received the capital projects to be funded through LoSiP and request authorization of the Board of Finance for application to OMB. James, morning, how are you? Good.
Morning, Jim. 3 projects that would
Excuse me.
and get the paperwork out of the way at this point in time. The first one was the deteriorated box culvert we have under Great Hill Road. It's about 300 feet west of the intersection with Route 77. It's been on our capital improvement program for at least the last 5 years. It's something that needs to get done. The guardrails are pretty well shot, and the concrete is actually spalling and deteriorating. So that's a project that would cost approximately $350,000. As I said, it's now risen to.
The generator just kicked on.
It kept going.
Okay.
One of them kept going, wasn't it? That's interesting.
Okay, so that's the first project. The second one is something that came up this year. It was added to our capital program. That was the reconstruction of Schoolside Lane. The road is really taking a beating. The last couple of winters, I anticipate this year is really going to really suffer badly. So rather than kind of continue just patching and repairing it, we do have money through some savings in this program to totally reconstruct that in terms of we would pulverize the existing pavement in place and repave the road. Prior to doing that, my thought was to replace all the catch basin tops that are starting to show wear and tear, and then get them out of there. And then we would have basically a totally new road in terms of something we could expect to use for the next 25 years without any problem. And that would
Jim,
cost that
could I stop you for a second?
Yeah.
To do that much of a stretch of road, it seems like it's 300,000 is kind of a light number.
300?
Yeah.
No. I've got estimates from
Really?
under the vendor in place program with the state. It's a bid, so
It's a state bid?
It's a state bid.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, it came to 256, and I added some money for the new catch basin tops and that kind of thing. So we should be okay.
Okay. Now, obviously, this project would be done after completion of
Yes.
the entire high school
Right.
project.
Yeah, and we probably, and depending on what that, we might not even get it done this summer. I don't know what the schedule. They have to go into demolition of the.
Yeah,
new
there'll be
school.
demolition,
So I'd wait till
building into the fall, so
Yeah.
it's probably a 2016 project.
Probably, but I want to get it started now.
Oh, sure, okay.
And then the last project, which is something that was on our list, it was never a very high priority, which is the Sawmill Road Bridge.
Yeah.
Joe's favorite bridge. It's a bridge that was built in 1960 on a pair of abutments that were built about 1900. The alignment of the road is a little cockeyed, but it's starting to show deterioration. Under a state-run program, but it's financed by the feds, it's eligible for 80% of the replacement cost. Our obligation as a community would be 20%. State does not participate, but that's a pretty good payback for the effort. To get the ball rolling, I would like the permission to make the application to the state. To have that, though, I have to have the money for funding the design. We don't have capabilities. Got a lot of regulatory permits involved. You've got the Corps of Engineers, you've got DEP, you got wetlands. I would want to take $80,000 from LoCIP. We saved in excess of $80,000 last year from getting the grant from DOT for the Vineyard Point Road Bridge. And so I'd like to use the savings from that to fund the design of this bridge so that we can get this ball going. I don't know when the construction would take place, but we can at least get into a position where we get the design done, get our permits, and then be ready to go forward with the construction.
So what you're recommending here is that the Board of Selectmen authorize application to OPM, which is Office of Management and Budgets, for LoCIP funding of the three projects as follows. 1, Great Hill Road culvert replacement of $350,000. 2, reconstruction of Schoolside Lane of $300,000. And 3, engineering design of Sawmill Road Bridge replacement of $80,000.
Correct.
I do not know what the balance in that LoCIP money is.
We have sufficient, because we will be.
Don't we get about $180,000 a year?
No, last year we got about 140,000, more or less.
140, they
Yeah.
cut that? Okay.
Yeah.
So we do have.
We do have funding. When we at the end, when we usually get the funding and get the input and money in the spring,
Right,
so we'll have enough.
okay. Sheila, hate to put you on the spot. You don't know what we have in there right now, do you?
I don't. I was actually, I had tried to communicate with the state on that as well to try to get a balance.
I think we have about 601,000.
Okay.
But some of that money, again, we'll use it as we need it. They pay us back. So we can still get some of these projects done and then be reimbursed. We'll be okay.
How much do they reimburse for?
100%.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
So we would theoretically have the 600 back in the end? Oh,
No, they would 600, they would just pay up to 600.
yeah, they would just pay,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. So I guess we need a motion to that effect then.
Move that we adopt the motion as the first selectman read.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion on the motion? Okay. Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Thank you. Thank you, James.
Thank you.
Item 7, Health Director Dennis Johnson. Consider and take possible action on a resolution authorizing Health Director to make and execute, approve on behalf of the town of Guilford any and all contracts or amendments thereof with the state of Connecticut of public health. Good morning, Dennis.
Good morning. This is a annual grant
I
that
was
we.
gonna say, we should do like a videotape just for you there.
It's,
Copy and paste.
I know, 'cause
I
it's not
know,
here.
I understand.
Hey, we're with you, Ted.
It's the Governor Rail's former administration wanted all these grants to be, co-signed and authorized and to prevent any abuse,
Yeah.
so. This is a grant that we've had for the past 15 years. It's a block grant. We receive money from the State Health Department to do health promotion programs. This program basically has two components. It's a smoking cessation program and an unintentional injury prevention program, which we target at senior citizens to prevent them from having falls in their homes. The budget period for this grant is October 2014 to June 2015. So the program has already started, but the state's about 6 months behind in getting the contracts approved. So I need an authorization to sign the contract and go on with the application.
So moved.
We have to read this resolution.
Oh, we have to read the whole thing. Okay, you can read it.
Resolved that Dennis Johnson, Director of Health, is authorized to execute, and approve on behalf of the town of Guilford any and all contracts or amendments thereof with the State of Connecticut Department of Public Health.
Second.
Any discussion on the resolution? Call for vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Dennis. We approve you for another year. Okay. Item 9, request for the use of town property. We have items 9.1. Well, Gary's not here, so I'll read it. Act on a request from the Park and Rec Department to use the green August 30th, 2015 for a concert. I hope there's no snow then. And item 9.2, act on a request from the Community Nursery School to use the green and place a sign on the green advertising its Little Folks Fair taking place on June 6, 2015. Sign placement on May 23rd to June 6th.
Second. I mean, I'll move
You
it.
move it. Is there
Yeah.
a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Approved. Okay. Correspondence, you have in your packet the Public Works monthly report and the building officials monthly report. Any comments, questions?
We talked about overtime for public works. How are we doing with sand and salt?
We're doing well. We're using a lot of it, but as far as getting deliveries and
Put in budget. at this
we don't
point?
have any shortages, no, we're still
Okay.
on budget. But Tom is doing a good job in procuring salt and sand. I'm extremely pleased on the amount of material that they're putting down. And I've gotten, I don't know, if you folks have received the compliments that I've been receiving, but the guys are doing a fantastic job.
I have.
You
I told Jim that, yeah.
you can see it. I mean, it's visible. I think they're doing a fantastic job. I have not had many or any complaints. The women in my office, would field the complaints that we get, and I haven't heard of any at the moment. So they're doing a good job. They're out there a lot, evident by the amount of money we're spending. But, we keep the roads safe and clear, and that's their jobs, and that's our jobs to make sure that they're doing it. Okay, committee reports.
Well,
Selectman Balistrasi, what do you have for us?
We finally have the professional photocopies of the Guilford Covenant and the land deed with the local natives and the original settlers of Guilford. These documents were photocopied by the Massachusetts Historic Society. They're the actual size and print of the original documents, and we've had them framed, and we'd like to hang them here in the Selectmen's room so that people can come and view them. Unfortunately, we had to give the originals back to the Massachusetts Historic Society, but this is the next best thing. So,
Look, there's 2 hooks there, Carl. Boom, boom.
yeah, we kind of fudged a little bit. This is the Guilford Covenant document. We also had it printed out in type exactly as Joel Helander and Mike McBride researched, and for the Guilford Covenant Memorial.
You get a good shot of that, Mike?
And then this is the land deed that was signed with Shawpashu, the Sachem squaw of the Guilford tribe, which numbered about 34 people, and they also drew a map showing all of the rivers, such as the Stony Creek and the East River, that show the boundaries. And Shawpashu's mark was a bow and an arrow. It's also co-signed by Henry Whitfield and 3 other members of the original settlers. So we're going to make copies for the Guilford Library as well. We had to pay a fee, a demonstration fee to the Historic Society, as well as to have them copied. But these, the framing and the costs and whatnot are being paid for by the 375th Committee. So it's a gift to the town from the committee.
It's great.
No expense to Guilford.
Now, the fee we paid was the Historic Society in Massachusetts, right?
Right. And that allows us to copy and display.
That's great. And like Carl said, they're up here in the Selectmen's meeting room for anyone to view and take pictures of. Yeah, good. Great. Well, thank you.
Okay.
And thank the committee for all your hard work.
I will.
It's
We have a
great.
meeting today, last one, I think.
It's always the last meeting.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay, any other committee reports? There's just one reminder that I would like to mention is that we're, as far as the senior tax relief program, we're currently in the enrollment period, which began February 1st and continues until May 15th. It seems like a long way off, but it'll creep up on you. If you want to participate in the elderly tax relief program, you have to apply every year, and the application period, again, is from February 1st to May 15th to be eligible to participate in the tax freeze. Please do not forget, if you do not apply, you can't participate, and it could be, to some people, a considerable hardship if you're not part of the program, especially if you are part of the program and then you drop out. So please remember to go down to the assessor's office, and they will be happy to help you out. okay? And we'll keep reminding you of that, but if you're in the program, you want to make sure that you stay in the program, okay? Anything else?
Yeah, Guilford Cleanup Day is going to be Saturday, May 2nd, with a rain date Sunday, May 3rd, and there'll be information coming shortly.
Okay, thank you. I see we have some guests in the audience. Is this a school project? Boy Scouts, okay, well, welcome. Your names?
I'm Michael Earl.
Michael? Welcome.
Earl, and this is Jacob.
Jacob, well, welcome, okay? Is there anything we can help you with, please let us know, and anytime you want to come up here, you're welcome to come and visit. I hope we didn't bore you too much this morning, okay? Okay, thank you. All right, anything else to come before the board? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, everybody have a good day, stay safe, it's still snowing out. What else is new? Okay, thank you.